And what was one of the biggest shocks in world football? Spain absolutely dominated Turkey with a final score of Turkey 0-6 Spain. And believe me when I say that this score does not even do justice to how bad Turkey had it on their own patch. In today's video, we'll be discussing why this result happened and all the latest details coming out of this match. But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more videos. Let's start off with the biggest talking point from this match. Lamine Yamal, the 16-year-old sensation, was brought on at the 63rd minute and would play until the 73rd minute. During that time, he managed to bag 2 assists and single-handedly destroy Turkey's defense. He created the most chances on the day, completed the most dribbles, and won the most duels. His passing was immaculate, and he even won over half of his ground duels. Even though he was only on the pitch for 10 minutes, he had a passing accuracy of 23 out of 27 passes. From those 27 passes, he attempted 16 ground duels and won 12 of them. In addition to this, he also made 6 recoveries. Overall, I cannot speak highly enough of how good he was on the day. The best part about this performance is that he was only 16 years old. We are still yet to see his peak, and who knows how good he could become. As we saw on the day, he has pace, power, technique, vision, and the audacity to take on defenders. All he needs now is experience. And if he keeps up these performances, then there is no doubt in my mind that he will go on to become one of the greats. On the other side of the spectrum, we have Arda Güler, who is another young starlet. Unlike Yamal, though, he had a day to forget. He was brought on at halftime in an attempt to salvage something from the match, but even he couldn't find the back of the net against a strong Spanish side. In fact, he was so devastated that he covered his face and his hands in disbelief and sadness. Now I can only imagine the emotions that must have been running through his head. After all, this is Turkey's first match since the tragic earthquake that hit the country. On top of this, he would have felt the pressure to perform well in front of his own fans. Unfortunately for him, it wasn't meant to be. But this is football, and sometimes things just don't go your way. What makes this result even more shocking is the fact that Turkey were playing at home. I mean, everyone expected them to put up a fight after the tragedy that befell the nation a few weeks ago. And don't get me wrong, they did put up a fight. But unfortunately, it just wasn't enough. Spain simply came into the match with a stronger squad, and they used that to their advantage. They were ruthless in attack, and their defense stood firm. On the other hand, Turkey were just not clinical enough. They had a couple of chances to score in the first half, but their shots either went over the bar or straight into the hands of the keeper. Once the second half started, Spain took control and they never looked back. Overall, this was a fantastic result for Spain. I mean, they were up against a team that was full of passion and desire, but they didn't let that affect them. Instead, they went out onto the pitch and played some beautiful football. They passed the ball around, they created chances, and they took them when they were presented with them. On the other hand, Turkey just couldn't cope. Their defense was solid in the first half, but they couldn't maintain it for the entire 90 minutes. And when Spain started to find gaps in the backline, it was too easy for them. They were clinical in front of goal, and they deserved to win the match. So now let's move on to why this actually matters. First off, we have to give credit to Spain for putting together such a dominant performance. They were up against a team that was full of passion and desire, but they didn't let that affect them. Instead, they went out onto the pitch and played some beautiful football. They passed the ball around, they created chances, and they took them when they were presented with them. On the other hand, Turkey just couldn't cope. Their defense was solid in the first half, but they couldn't maintain it for the entire 90 minutes. And when Spain started to find gaps in the backline, it was too easy for them. They were clinical in front of goal, and they deserved to win the match. For Turkey, this is a painful reminder of the gap between them and Europe's elite. No doubt that they are improving, but they are still a long way off challenging the best teams in the continent. The players gave it their all, But it just wasn't enough. Spain were simply too strong, and they deserved to win. Despite the result, Turkey fans should be proud of their team. They have shown a lot of heart and determination, and they will only get better with time. As for Spain, this is a major statement. They are showing that they are serious about competing at the highest level. With players like Yamal leading the way, the future looks bright. Now let's move on to what fans are saying about this match. To be honest, there were two very different sets of opinions. You either supported Spain and were happy to see such a dominant performance, or you were a Turkey fan and felt disappointed with the result. There is no right or wrong opinion here, but it's always interesting to see how people view matches from different perspectives. Some people were quick to praise Spain for their excellent performance. Here's what a few fans had to say. Wow, what a performance by Spain, especially the young players. They look unstoppable. Another said, the future is bright for Spain. Players like Lamine Yamal will lead this team to glory. And finally, one supporter summed it up perfectly by saying, Spain showed Turkey no mercy. The killer instinct was on display, and the result could have been even worse. These comments are typical of what you'll see across social media. Most fans were impressed with Spain's display and believe that they can go all the way and win the Euros. However, there were also a number of disappointed Turkey fans following the match. Here's a sample of what they had to say. A tough day at the office. We gave it our all but couldn't find the back of the net. Another said, respect to Spain. They were the better team today and deserved to win. But the boys gave it their all, and that's all that matters. And finally, one fan summed up the feeling of the nation perfectly by saying, it's been a tough few weeks for us, but we will come back stronger from this. These comments are understandable given the circumstances surrounding the Turkish national team. No one expected them to win the match, but they would have hoped to put up a better fight. Nevertheless, the team has shown a lot of heart and determination, and their fans are right behind them. So what do you think about this result? Let us know in the comments below. In addition to this, please give your opinions on the following questions. Firstly, do you think Spain will go on to win the Euros? Secondly, what do you expect from Yamal next? Finally, do you think more clubs should focus on bringing through young talent? Your answers to these questions will shape the future of world football, so make sure you let us know what you think. And that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and make sure you stay tuned so you don't miss any more updates. This has been your host. And remember, if you want to be part of the movement, then all you have to do is follow us. Until next time, keep watching, keep thinking, and keep believing.